I know a lot of you really want to take advantage of what's happening with cryptocurrency and Bitcoin right now. But if you're like most people, you're feeling like you really just don't have enough funds and enough crypto to really fully take advantage. What I'm going to be showing you is how to generate the cryptocurrency, generate the Bitcoin and the altcoin to build your portfolio with so you can fully capitalize. Now, we're not talking about the risky business stuff. Those are the high yield investment programs and lending platforms. I personally lost hundreds of thousands of dollars and a lot of time when I first entered into the cryptocurrency market and started with these programs. They're where you give your Bitcoin to another organization that promises to invest it in mining or other trading opportunities in cryptocurrency and pay you large returns back. But they have not been good stewards of our Bitcoin. So that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about today. I'm going to be breaking this down into three parts: the system and how we're generating the leads, how you'll generate them through automation and using the education and informational resources I provide in the system to help you get number two, affiliate commissions. Again, no lending platforms. These are regulatory safe, solid resources and tools that people in cryptocurrency would want to use anyway. In fact, if you're in cryptocurrency, you probably use some of these tools and resources that pay these affiliate commissions. The key is the system that you get to use that I'm going to give to you that drives the leads, that does the education and leads people to these valuable tools and resources they need anyway that pay you affiliate commissions in Bitcoin and other altcoins. And I'll be showing you some of those today. And then number three, the teamwork and the leadership that drives all of this. You'll be able to leverage my tenacity, my experience, and it goes way beyond me just handing you the system to help you succeed with all of this. Before we go any further, I just want to say if you don't have time for the presentation today, just enter your name and email, and I'm going to email out a link to an even longer, more detailed, comprehensive review of all of this. And you can do that at any time in this presentation. Now, before we start, I should really make sure that we establish some basic financial education. This came from Robert Kiyosaki in his book, The Cash Flow Quadrant, a couple decades back. And it's really, really important to understand if you're going to understand how we're generating cryptocurrency through this high leveraged, kind of speedy fashion in a legitimate way and why it's so important. So on the left here, you see where most people make their money. This is what he taught. The E and the S quadrant, he called it. E stands for employee, you have a job. S stands for self-employed, you own a job. And on this side of the quadrant, people are trading their time for money. It's almost impossible to generate wealth or any kind of time freedom from the left side of the quadrant. So the goal is to move over to the right. And I was able to do that in the early 1990s when I was in my early 20s through network marketing. Now, he taught also that you can do it through real estate or you can do it through franchises. He talked about setting up a system that's paying you so you can walk away for weeks or even months at a time and still be generating that income. It's called a business owner. And it's about having a system that's working for you so you're not trading time for money anymore. Now, the ultimate dream is to move into the investor quadrant, the I quadrant, where, as he described it, money works for you. What I'm going to be talking about is how you can move there and have cryptocurrency working for you. But how do you get to the I? Again, if you don't have the funds and you don't have the resources in any way right now to be able to invest properly into cryptocurrency, how are you going to move into the I in cryptocurrency and ever be in a position where you have all this free time and wealth? Or for those of you that don't even necessarily need to generate wealth to feel fulfilled, to be able to feel like you tapped in and fully capitalized on it and have more security and more freedom in the future. How are you going to get there? What I'm offering you is my business system, which is what I specialize in. And you get to use it just as I'm using it to generate leads in cryptocurrency so that you can build your portfolio with Bitcoin and other altcoins and move into the I. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you what to trade. I'm not selling securities and I'm not interested in selling securities. And there's no guarantee of income just as anywhere in life and business. And there's no guarantee of returns. The cryptocurrency market could collapse just as the stock market could just as we saw real estate almost collapsed our entire economy in 2008. These are basic concepts that the FTC requires us to tell you, and you should know there are no guarantees anywhere, and that counts here as well. So my big question to you is, what's your plan to capitalize on crypto? If you don't have the funds to really feel like you're fully taking advantage of it, then you need to figure out how you're going to get more cryptocurrency. Okay, so that's what this is all about. But before we begin, I just kind of want you to think for a minute about what financial freedom means to you. And I know this is kind of cliche, right? But I wanted to show this to you because I'm not like this glitz and glamour type of guy. And I think it's important to understand like where the information's coming from, right? And if you're going to be using my system, like what's valuable to me, I would want to know that. And these pictures really demonstrate that. You know, this is what I do with my free time. I spend it like with my son. I was with my son here. We flew in on a glacier. Actually, here's a picture in the upper right-hand corner of Denali Mountain, the tallest, highest elevation mountain in the United States. Beautiful place. And we landed on one of the glaciers up there in this little plane. Like, I loved that moment. That's why I'm putting it here. I love doing things like that. This is my dad and I up here looking at another glacier in Alaska last year. Here we are in Hawaii, me and Robin Lynn. A lot of you know Robin Lynn because she did a multi-million-dollar Facebook advertising campaign that I managed for years between 2011 and 2017. Marketing's powerful. A lot of you know her. Here we are in Hawaii on business, but we took a lot of time to have fun too. And I put this picture of me down here because I love to teach. And a lot of you know me from when I did a lot of speaking internationally on large venues between 2007 and 2011, teaching marketing. And much of what I taught, I have infused into the system that I'm talking about today that allows you to develop cryptocurrency. Now, I don't want to go too deep into how I feel about where Bitcoin's going and why I know that. I really want to speak to those of you who already know enough to know that you want to be involved with it. You know, I do want to acknowledge a lot of experts are saying it's going to 40,000 this year in 2018, that it's going to over 1 million in 2020. You know, it's neither here nor there to me on whether those things actually happen. I know that Bitcoin dominates the branding for the blockchain. You know, blockchain technology, everybody's acknowledging that that's going to change our economy, the way we do business, the way we live and work, even more than the internet did. Like, that's not a debate. And what we do know that also isn't a debate is that Bitcoin right now dominates the branding for the blockchain. End of story. There was a time when Yahoo dominated the search engine space back in the early 2000s. Then Google came along and now dominates it. But that doesn't mean that the people who invested into Yahoo didn't do extraordinarily well. So I don't get caught up in these debates. We know that Bitcoin dominates the blockchain branding. That's all I need to know. We know that a lot of experts are acknowledging the blockchain is going to change our lives. It's really all I need to know. We see ATM machines popping up all over the world. I'm sure there's some in your city. I'll introduce you in the emails that I send out to a website that shows you where to find one of these Bitcoin ATMs in your area. They're cropping up all over the place. Some people argue, oh, you can't spend Bitcoin. For those of you who don't know this, I know a lot of you do, you can get a BitPay card. It's a prepaid debit card, and there's lots of them all over the world. This one's really easy to get in the US. And you put Bitcoin in there, and you spend it at a restaurant, gas, online, offline. People are spending Bitcoin all the time right in front of you, and you don't even know it. So we know it's taking over our lives, but it doesn't just stop at Bitcoin, does it? It's these altcoins, Ethereum surging 10,000% in 16 months. I mean, people are making a killing with these things. This is from Business Insider. Ripple, another altcoin, surging 3,500% in 11 weeks. I mean, this is overnight wealth creation when you find these coins, and there's hundreds of them. That was Neo. Here's another one, Tron, turning 1,000 to 20 grand. It goes on and on and on. So I'm really talking to those of you who already kind of see this. You understand that it's happening. You may not understand all the details of it, but you want to engage with it. And you really want a way that you can generate more Bitcoin and generate more cryptocurrency so that you can build your portfolio up to capitalize on all of this properly before it passes us by. So again, I'm going to break this down into these 3 sections: the system, the affiliate commission programs, the teamwork and leadership. I'm not going to go into all the detail here in this presentation on these, but I'm going to cover some of this. If you need to go, remember you can enter your name and email at any time, and it's actually going to send you an email to a longer, more comprehensive presentation that covers this even in more detail. But if you can stay, I'm going to cover some of this right now. Just a little bit about the system. I've been developing successful systems for decades, even before the internet. And actually, the internet systems that came along later are very similar to what we used before that in selling products and services. So for example, in the 90s, before I used the internet, I would do advertising in newspapers and magazines, and I would target an audience, and they would be automated. People would call into a hotline, it would give them information. They might pull down information on a fax on demand, for those of you who remember fax machines. And through this automated process, they would come to the conclusion if they wanted to buy. And if they wanted to buy, they would send a check in the mail. So I didn't have to engage or interact until I got a check in the mail, and then we'd send their products. And I was also applying this to the network marketing industry. So for example, people would send a check in the mail after listening to information, going through this automated process through a fax on demand, and I would get like $5 sent to me for in those examples, and I would send information out to them, and that would be when I would then engage with them. I've been using systems to develop organizations and develop products or sell products and services through automated means for decades. When the internet came along, it was incredible. Just applied the same concept to selling products and services online. And I ended up, generating millions of dollars in the early 2000s, creating systems for network marketing opportunities. I then left network marketing and started to really work in a more intimate setting with people who were developing what I felt were really meaningful businesses that could make a difference in the world, and I would turn their idea into marketing systems. I've been doing this for a very, very long time. So what I'm doing is applying all of that knowledge to creating a system for those that want to learn how to plug into cryptocurrency. And you can use the system if you're already knowledgeable about cryptocurrency and using a lot of these resources. You can use this system and not have to create all of this value and just generate leads with it. And then the system is moving them through purchasing or accessing all these resources that they would need anyway to take advantage of cryptocurrency. And that's generating Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency commissions for you. And when you enter your name and email, you go through that process. You see the emails going out, you see the presentations, and you see how that works. And those of you who engage with it, you're going to get it, and you're going to be able to capitalize on this in a very big way. Let me just show you a little bit of some of these resources that those of you who are already in cryptocurrency are aware of, like Binance, one of the top exchanges in the world. This is where, for those of you who don't know, this is where people go. This is one of the places that people go to trade cryptocurrencies, to buy and sell. And it's wildly successful and has a great reputation. They pay commissions for those that you refer who come in and start trading cryptocurrency, and you get a commission each time they do. It's phenomenal. So for example, here's a snapshot. If you look on the left, that's just, it goes on and on, but that's just a snapshot of the people that my system has referred. Again, the same system you'll get to use that's referred them to Binance. And then here's where I'm getting paid. And again, this is just a small little snapshot. It goes on and on and on and on, showing all the payments I've received. I get paid in BNB, that's their altcoin, their cryptocurrency. I can immediately turn that into Bitcoin. And I'm getting paid this all day long with every trade that people do. This is powerful, guys. And then if you see down here, you see their top refers, 168 Bitcoin commission, 119 Bitcoin commission, 115 Bitcoin commission. Now, again, going back to no guarantees or promises of what you're going to earn with my system, obviously these are the top earners. This is no guarantee. I just want you to understand that it can add up. Like, there are a lot of examples of where this model is highly effective, and you can see I'm getting paid these cryptocurrencies. It's not so much about what I'm getting paid. Again, the FTC doesn't want us to emphasize that, because that leads you to believe that you're going to make that same amount. This is about thinking different. This is about thinking like a business person. There's no guarantees in anything. What the emphasis needs to be on is how the system works, and that it does work. And it's not rocket science. Like, there are lots of different ways to plug people into tools and resources that pay you cryptocurrency commissions. Like, that's a fact, and that's what I want you to focus on. And then later we can talk about how the system works in generating leads, how I help you generate leads, and you can go through the system and see how it leads people to learn about these resources, and it really should be a no-brainer. Okay, so because I don't want to make these hypey promises and overemphasize things like you're going to make 100 Bitcoin from Binance. It's just that's a ridiculous way to present this. I want you to understand how it works and for you to see how it works and have you come to the conclusion on your own without the hype. Here's Coinbase. A lot of you are familiar with Coinbase. It's one of the most successful places where people buy Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. And when you refer people here, and my system refers people here, here's a snapshot, they pay you a referral commission of $10, almost $10 in Bitcoin, which the amount fluctuates depending on the price of Bitcoin. Here's just a little snapshot of over the course of about a week uh, of of some of those cryptocurrency commissions. Again, not a huge amount in and of itself, but that with Binance, with some of these others, it starts to add up. Trezor, you can have an affiliate commission set up with them through Amazon's affiliate program. And Ledger, and by the way, let me just pause for those who don't know what these are. People use, they call them cold storage, where people store their cryptocurrency offline, and a lot of people feel it's safer to store it offline or to have anonymity, to have safety and privacy. So Ledger, they pay a 10% commission on each sell. So you're using my system, it's referring people all these resources and tools that they're going to want to use anyway, or that they may consider using. And when they do, you're generating cryptocurrency. Again, I ask you, how else are you going to generate more Bitcoin and more cryptocurrency? It's an ingenious model. It's worked for years. This is the star of the show. There's a software that's an Autobot crypto trading software. I just plug it in, you can plug it in, and it trades for you. And it's a great tool. It's a fantastic tool. And it pays affiliate commissions. And it also has a network marketing component for those that want to take part in it. It's just a phenomenal way, along with everything else, to generate cryptocurrency commissions. Not to mention a fantastic tool for those that don't have to sit behind the computer all day because it's trading for you on your behalf. So before we go any further into this, I want you to understand that right now I'm developing my core team. And so it's really important to me who I attract. I want to make sure that if you continue down this path, that you understand the value of marketing. I know a lot of people in the cryptocurrency space, they're so negative about marketing in general, and I understand that. But marketing can be positive, and it can be educational, and it can be valuable. And that's really the type of marketing that I use. But regardless of what you think about me or my marketing style, I do want people around me in this organization that I'm going to be providing this value to, who accept that there is value in marketing and there's value in network marketing. And referring people and getting a commission, which is what drives a lot of the internet economy, by the way, is a positive thing in many cases. Now, there's bad apples out there, just like there's bad apples in traditional models. But if you have this sweeping idea that network marketing or marketing in general is bad, you're not going to be a good fit for this team. Should be obvious. You practice a success mindset. Failures are stepping stones. If you failed in life, that's an opportunity to learn and move forward. You always take accountability. Like, I want you to have this understanding. I remember in the lending platform industry, people would have, invested a lot of money and some things didn't work out. And there were people who would point the finger at the person who referred them and blame them and be angry towards them and communicate in a really counterproductive way. I do not want to be around people who think like that. Taking accountability for your decisions is vital. I want to be giving you a lot of value and a lot of support. I want to be surrounded by people who get this stuff. Okay, so I've got a lot more comprehensive review of all of this. Of this same presentation. Again, when you enter your name and email, you'll get an email from the system. It will send you to a page that goes into all of this in much more detail. And it breaks down, in addition, breaks down just the system, how we're generating leads, who's the audience that we're going after, what's the automation look like, what do you have to do to make it work, and how am I assisting you with that? All those aspects, the affiliate commission programs, I've touched upon them. I go into that in more detail. And then the teamwork and the leadership and the opportunity that you really have right now to leverage my tenacity, my experience, not just the system, but so much more to make all of this work. And I just want to leave you with this. If you see that cryptocurrency has the potential to truly be bigger than the internet boom, then you got to ask yourself the question, how am I going to get more cryptocurrency so that I can build a portfolio? You've got to actively look for ways to do that. So if that's something that you want to do, enter your name and email and look how this system is set up, leveraging decades of my experience with marketing. And I'm just going to hand to you to generate the coin, altcoin and Bitcoin that you need to fully capitalize. I'll see you soon.